This is Retirement Roadmap Radio with Mark Fricks from MasterPlan Retirement Consultants. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is Retirement Roadmap Radio with your host, Mark Fricks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Retirement Roadmap Radio with me, Mark Fricks, your host. And joining us here shortly is Mr. Tony Shore, our co-host. As always, we're excited to bring you another episode. We have a really kind of a different show today. I was thinking about this week what to do, and talking about taxes and estate planning and all that kind of good stuff. And I came up with the title of "Who is MasterPlan?" We have a lot of new listeners. We have people that they hear bits and pieces or see bits and pieces on YouTube. And I thought today would really be cool just to kind of have an interview session with me, and Tony's going to conduct the interview and just kind of help you get a big picture of our foundation, who we are, things like that. So, Tony, I'm excited about today, and welcome in.
Yeah, I'm excited too, Mark. And I love asking questions. And even more than that, I love asking you questions.
Because I love answering them.
You're the answer man. And this is going to be fun because I know you get a lot of questions from our listeners. They call in, and we encourage our listeners today to do that if they have questions. And you get a lot of questions from people that you meet with. Current clients, future clients, people that just come in and want to talk to you about their finances or their retirement plan. So we're going to go over some of the questions you get about what you do and maybe clarify for people what it is a financial services professional does. This is great. Who is MasterPlan? MasterPlan Retirement Consultants. That's the name of your company. What is that? What is your firm? What is MasterPlan Retirement Consultants?
Yeah, so Tony, we were born out of the Great Recession. We went through 2008, 2009, into 2010. And I took a step back. I wouldn't call it a sabbatical. I didn't quit working, but I began researching, interviewing professionals in the industry. I began reading, and I said, there's got to be more to retirement planning than just investing. Here I was in 2008, 2009, sitting across from some little lady, widow, and saying, well, Mrs. Jones, you're down 22%, but the market's down 48%, so we're beating the market, so hang in there. It was ridiculous. It really was. And that's when I really, maybe it was a God thing. Maybe, I don't know what it was, but it was just like, there's more to this. And so that's where MasterPlan, we were founded in 2010. The middle of 2010, so we're 12 years old now, and it's about looking at every segment of retirement. It's not just, hey, we're going to invest your money and stay invested. It's hard to stay invested when you're retired and you're taking money from an investment account. So it's going down 25%, and you're taking out maybe 5% a year, and you're going to run out of money. So, and it's so many other pieces, as we'll talk about today, but like things we talk about, like taxes, like estate planning, income planning, when to take Social Security, if you have a pension, how to take the pension. There's so many pieces, long-term care planning, healthcare planning. So we are a fully integrated, holistic planning firm for people that want to prepare for retirement. And that's where we were born, and that's who we are.
Yeah, and that's why most people, people say, I don't want to hear about retirement. I want to hear about finances. Well, that's the reason we save, right? I mean, that's the reason you do help people with their finances, but why? And that's where the retirement comes in, is because the 401ks, the IRAs, your savings, that's what you're going to use it for. And in fact, speaking of that, what are your core services? What do you offer? When somebody asks, what is it you provide?
Well, probably the big picture is, and this is something I show folks when they come in and meet with us, is envision 3 circles on a page, and they all connect. And the first circle is what we call money management. And when I show somebody the money management circle, the first thing they think about is investing. And that is a piece of that pie, but it's so much more that nobody else is doing. You know, one of the most powerful things, part of the money circle, is income planning. Where's your income coming from every month? How can you make sure that your light bill's paid without worried about the market? How can you make sure that that the money's there, whether you live to be 80, 90, or 100? Income, you got to replace a paycheck. So it's not only investing, but there's also a segment called income planning. I've already mentioned Social Security. Anything to do with money in retirement belongs to that money management circle. And again, my old firm and most firms still, it's just about investing, and they are missing 75% of the pie when it comes to money management. So having all of that circle filled out is a peace of mind that virtually every client we work with says that within 3 to 4 meetings. You don't know how much better I feel because I know we're taken care of. I know we got the money to last a lifetime. So that's that first circle of core services. Then we move into tax planning. Tony, I believe that you can lose more money in taxes than you can in the market because the market always recovers. Taxes may not, right?
Right.
And so we're $30 trillion in debt. And so most people's money for retirement is in traditional format, like traditional 401k, traditional IRA. Well, that felt good when you're putting the money in. You got a nice tax deduction. But now, as you start living on that money, it's taxed at whatever the rates are that day. Well, what are the rates going to be in 5-10 years? I can almost guarantee they'll be higher. We're $30 trillion in debt. Right. We have 80 million baby boomers retiring. We are creating new social programs every week. We want to give away this and pay off that. And so taxes have to come from somewhere. And if you were to tax all the millionaires and billionaires at double the rate, it would cover about 3% of the deficit. So it's the middle class that's going to get hit. Yeah. I promise you that. And so tax planning is a huge part. And then the third circle is estate planning. And people might go, oh, I got a will. Yeah, okay, great. Then you're going through probate. You may pay higher taxes. You may pay probate costs. You're not going to have a private situation. You may not be taken care of if you are incapacitated. So we want an entire well-rounded estate plan that ties in with the beneficiary designations on your other accounts and make sure that things get passed on to those you love, to make sure you maintain control even if you're incapacitated. So all of that is part of that, and these all join together because any change in one circle affects the other two. So that's why it's so important to take the holistic approach and take care of all of it.
Yeah. You look at the big picture and look at all of these things, and I think that's really important. And for our listeners out there, they may be thinking, well, am I a good fit for a financial services professional? Am I a good fit to work with MasterPlan Retirement Consultants? So who is a good fit for you and to work with your firm?
Well, typically, we typically meet with people 50 and older. Now, we'll meet with people's kids that are 35 and 40. Those situations are relatively simple. Save. And try to use a Roth if you can. But, have a little bit of life insurance, that kind of stuff. And that's fine. We work with those folks. But my expertise is 50 and older. People that typically they come to see us when the last kid is like getting into college, and they look at each other and they go, what's next? And they go, oh, retirement's next. What have we done? Nothing. Save some money or whatever. Yeah. And so that's really, typically the client that comes to see us is between 50 and 65. Sometimes about once a year, I get a call from somebody and they say, I want to prepare for retirement. Can I meet with you? I said, sure. I said, when do you think about retiring? They say, next Monday. I say, well, can you come in today? Right? Yeah. Let's get started.
The sooner the better, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny, but it's true. I've had people 5 years after retirement. So those, and also it's typically people, our minimum typically is $250,000, so $250,000, because until you really have that much, a lot of these other situations aren't critical. Sure. That's kind of a good place to start, and so that's I guess a good fit for us. We do work around the country. We're now in 22 states. So just because you're not in the Atlanta area doesn't mean we can't work with you. We are, and part of that was because of COVID. All of a sudden, we're all on these Zoom calls and teaching classes virtually. And I've got people in California and Oregon and Washington and New Mexico. I mean, I could just keep going. So it doesn't matter where you're at. It's do you see the need? Do you feel the pain of being prepared for retirement?
Yeah. And when you talk about this weekly podcast, the show you do, the radio aspect of it may be local, but people can listen to the podcast anywhere they're at and view the show online on YouTube anywhere they're at. So you are reaching people all over, and that's been happening more and more as we've gone on. I mean, I've done this show with you for a number of years, and we started just on the radio, and now we're on all the major podcast sites and YouTube. So if people want to check out past shows, they can do that there. I just wanted to make a note of that.
Yep.
So obviously, that's good. We want to find out who's a good fit for MasterPlan. And you said the company you talked about, you've been around 12 years, and I know you've been in the financial industry even longer than that. You've got a lot of experience. But MasterPlan is founded on 3 pillars you've mentioned. Explain that. What are the 3 pillars that you talk about?
Yeah, the pillars are our foundation of who we are. So the first one is we are fiduciaries. And what that means is we are required by law and by our license to act in the best interest of our clients. So somebody can come to us, had a client a couple of weeks ago, and they had a 1 or 2 accounts that were really, really good accounts. We left them alone. We integrated them into what we were doing because they were great accounts. So I'm not going to move something just because another firm has it or whatever. They may make me the advisor on it so that we will get statements, but we kept that because it was a great fit for what we put together. So we're going to act in their best interest whether we make money or not. The second pillar is holistic. We've already talked about holistic, the 3 circles, there's 15 areas we look at. Think about things that we don't think about too much, like long-term care. Think about things like just health care. The average couple is going to spend $250,000 with health care, not counting long-term care. Those are Part B premiums, supplement cost, deductibles, things that aren't covered by Medicare, $250,000 on top of whatever else you think you need. So all of that is integrated in the holistic approach. And finally, the third pillar is I consider us a boutique style firm. And what I mean by that is we are not looking for how many clients we can get. We are looking, again, because we're fiduciaries, for good fits. And I average myself, being the lead advisor here, taking on 2 to 3 new clients a month, because that's all I can handle. It's a 6 to 8 meeting process to fully build the retirement plan. And so I can't be taking on 10 clients. I don't want to take on 10 clients. I like to take a day off once a month or whatever. But so we're not here trying to just grab, I tell people, I say, I won't know till the second or third meeting if you're a good fit for us. Nonetheless, are we a good fit for you? So it's got to be a mutual connection there.
Right, and that leads into my next question. I know you really put an emphasis on the personal connection, right?
Yep.
And why is that personal service so important to you and so important at MasterPlan Retirement?
Well, first of all, we're a family business. We have 5 family members working here. Now, we have other people too, okay? But it's a multi-generational business. So 3 of my adult children work here. I've already got a grandson asking, Papa, can I work there one day? So I go, sure. And his first question was, how much will I make? So that's good. But what I mean is we're already a family. So whenever somebody joins our firm as a client, I say, welcome to the MasterPlan family. Because we do a lot of events where I can get to know them on a more personal level. I already know more about them than even their kids do, financially and other problems going on in their lives. And so we've introduced some new things. In addition to events, whether it be a wine tasting or we got a murder mystery dinner theater coming up Friday night. I'm really looking forward to that.
For your clients? You do
for
these
our clients,
things. These are client events that people you work with, they all get together and you sponsor these events for them. And I think that's great. You provide these for your clients. That's
we
awesome.
love it. We decided several years ago to quit spending so much money on marketing and spend it on our clients. The other thing we started doing, which I think is really cool. So I grew up here in the South, and I grew up in a traditional church. And if somebody got sick or died, our church had what they called a phone tree. So Evelyn, who was head of the phone
Oh,
tree, would call
yeah.
two people. Those two people would call two people. You know what I'm saying here?
Yep.
And so that we had 30 people making dinner. Okay, you take Monday night, I'll take Tuesday night, you take Wednesday. So we've gotten to where we actually send dinners to people that have been sick or been in the hospital. If there's a passing away, we try to send some things. We try to attend the funeral if it's local. It's all, we want to take care of our folks, and I think that's I love it. I really do. This is my family.
Great.
This is not just my family, but my clients are my family. And they call up, and it's like talking to an old friend. It really is. So it's really a cool thing.
Sure. So then I want to ask you about your motivations personally, Mark. I mean, why is your passion finance and to give financial information to your clients and our listeners out there? I mean, this is your passion, but why? I mean,
well, again, it was born, I think, in 2008 when I saw that the industry was really doing a disservice. That they were not having a plan. They were just investing money. It's like building a house without a blueprint. Just start hammering boards together.
Yeah.
You're going to have a mess, okay? And so we're trying to reverse that trend, and there's still not a huge amount of firms doing that, which I find unbelievable. Now, they may print off some software, 30 pages of colorful charts. That's not a plan. That's a sales tool. We want an exact plan. This is your situation. These are the 6 areas we found that could trip you up in retirement. These are the 6 ways we're going to fix those areas, okay? So I think the passion comes not only from 2008, but as you start working with these clients and they become part of your family, and then you get a phone call at 3 in the morning. Mark, I just wanted you to know Jack passed away last night. I don't know what to do. And so my first word is, you don't do anything. You don't do what you need to do. You go more.
Right.
We have a contingency plan for that. Let's don't do anything for a few weeks. Now, if I can help you with something, that's fine. But as far as sitting down and all this, and so it affects me. It affects me. We've had, our first 9 years in business, we had 1 death. Our last 2.5 years, we've had 8, 9 deaths. And part of that's because of the aging of our clientele. I mean, we have new people coming in, but these clients we picked up 10 years ago are 10 years older, right? And so we're going to see more of that. I get more calls of, we're going to have to put, my husband in the nursing home or whatever. So I know that I got to do the right job. I know that when that phone call happens, we got to be prepared for that. And so we're very careful. We have a great staff that takes also, even the people that aren't family. Everybody else I've known either since high school or I've worked with in other firms. And so I know their character, I know their belief system, and I know that they want to do what's right for people first.
Right. And I know that is a passion of yours. So what are some ways you share that? How do you share your knowledge and experience in retirement planning and retirement income planning with folks? I mean, I know the show is one way you do it, education.
Yep. Yeah, we have the radio show, we have the podcast. If you've got a smartphone in your pocket, you have my podcast in your pocket, right?
Yep.
They're all about 24 minutes long, Tony?
Yeah.
So certainly, yep. Very digestible. We have the YouTube channel where every radio show over the last, a year or so is on there on video. We have other short 5-minute videos of, hey, have you ever thought about this? Or look at what's happening now or whatever. Also teach classes virtually. We teach classes on everything from federal benefits, which is a very complicated situation, government benefits, down to tax planning, Social Security planning. We're doing one on estate planning in a few weeks. And these are all on our website, and you can actually register on the website, and they're complimentary. So MasterPlanRetire.com is the website. Great place to register for classes. Also, Tony, by the way, great way to register for the complimentary consultation that we talk about a lot. Just go on there, MasterPlanRetire.com. Right there on the first page, it says schedule a meeting. Click that button, and my calendar pops up. You choose your time, and you've got 30 to 45 minutes of me to talk about whatever financially you want to talk about. Okay. Yeah. So that's really a cool thing too, but it's just, that's different ways we get word out, whether it's teaching classes. I speak around the area. We still do face-to-face live classes. I'm trying to think what else we do. I know there's other things we do, but that's the way, some of the ways we get the word out.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've done everything from radio show, podcast, videos, your website is a great resource. I know you mentioned that, but people can check out the radio show page on your website. They can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. You're also on Audible, just all the major podcasting sites. And then I know you also do email blasts. People if they want to get email blasts and get information on finances, financial tips that way, and the workshops, seminars you do, client events. I mean, you're a busy guy.
Well, we also put articles on Facebook every week too. Dealing with various subjects as well. So if you like our page, those will pop up, every week, and they're just, it could be about anything. It could be about how to retire healthy. It could be, any subject like that. So we're just trying to stay in front of folks. We're trying to find new ways. We're always looking for new ways. We got some things in the works that we think are going to really be exciting that will affect the entire Metro Atlanta area. It's
Good.
exciting, and I've got a great staff that does all this planning, comes up with these new ideas. These millennials, they know the technology. I just know to speak into the microphone and look into the camera. That's about what I know.
Yeah.
So,
well, you've been doing that for a long time. But yes, you have a great staff there. And that's another aspect that people might wonder about. I mean, you're fortunate. I mean, what's it like to have a business that really gives you the opportunity to do what you love and make a positive difference in people's lives? That's got to be really fulfilling and rewarding, right?
I get up in the morning excited to come to work because every day's different. I have different clients I'm meeting with. I have new people I'm meeting with. I have a plan to put together, and every plan's different. I feel like in some ways a detective, in some ways a counselor, in some ways a problem solver. I mean, it's all these different things. Some days I'm writing an article. Right now I'm editing my book. The Road Less Traveled is being rewritten as we speak.
Oh, wow.
I'm working on that. Yeah. So
that's another thing we forgot to mention. Another tool use.
That's right.
Your book. You're an author as well.
Yep. Hope to have a second book. This book's 7 years old, so a lot of things need to be updated, and I've got some new stories to add and things like that. So it is a passion, and I am so blessed, Tony, to be able to do what I love to do, and to be able to make a difference in people's lives. Because I had a lady come in the other day, and she brought me a shirt she found online, and it says, and she didn't have it printed. She bought it like this. It says, "I am a master planner." Now I think it was an architectural shirt, but she said that was you, and she bought it and brought it to me, and she almost cried, saying, "You allowed me to retire early so I could take care of my parents." And it broke my heart. No, it didn't break my heart. It made my heart happy. That's what it did.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, and I mean, that actually makes me think, what about, you're a young pup yet, so this is a ways off, I know, but when you eventually retire and step away from the business, what do you hope people will say about you?
Well, first of all, I will never retire. I will quit taking on new clients. I will handle the ones I've got. I will lead the business. I will be still the face of the business, the lead advisor. They'll come to me for advice and whatever. But I may only work 2 weeks of the month or whatever, right? But
plus, you have a succession plan. You have a team in place, so nobody needs to worry about that.
Nope.
But what do you hope people will say about you once you do step away?
I guess if I had to write my own obituary, which they say you should do every 5 years, right?
So, I've never thought about that, actually.
Yeah, that's kind of an exercise.
Because I'm going to live forever, so I don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, I read that about you. So you'll be frozen, right?
Right.
Frozen. Okay. So, I just hope that they say, he made a difference in my life. I guess that's what I would hope they would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it
simple.
Well,
I think that's huge. This has been very enlightening. I think this is a great conversation to have to let our listeners get a little bit of an insight into what it is you can offer there at MasterPlan Retirement, what it is you do, and kind of give them an idea of, okay, this is why I want to work with a financial services professional, and this is who Mark is. It gives us an insight into you, and I appreciate you being so open and willing to do this and talk about what you do. I know it's your passion. So, we dig into specific financial items each week, but
Right.
this is really great. Now, we're out of time for today's show, so before we go, let our listeners know how they can set up that complimentary consultation.
Yes, I know we're really short of time. Really, MasterPlanRetire.com, or just do a search, MasterPlan Retirement, Atlanta or Georgia. But MasterPlanRetire.com, articles, podcast, schedule an appointment there, sign up for classes. I will give you our phone number. We still have a phone here, 770-980-9262. But again, MasterPlan Retire should be easy to remember, and that's a great place to go and learn more about us, and at the same time schedule that free, that complimentary consultation to answer your questions and your concerns. That's what it's for.
All right. Well, thanks, Mark. And listeners, that does it for today's episode of Retirement Roadmap Radio with our host, Mark Fricks.
And thanks to Tony, our co-host today. And until we see each other again or hear each other again, remember, always plan well and prosper. Have a great day, everybody.